Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Life of Boss. I'm Jeremy Boston, aka the best hair in poker, and this is my channel. I'm here to provide you with some daily relief from the grind of 9 to 5. Here to provide you with some poker vlogs, some interviews, some podcasts maybe, and I'm super excited to get everything started with you guys. So you could click the like button, click the subscribe button, and we'll definitely get things popping. Okay, so the original game plan was to head over to Dallas last week and make a vlog about the trip there, seeing the Cowboy Stadium for the first time, watching my Jacksonville Jaguars get slaughtered by the Dallas Cowboys. Unfortunately, it just turned out to not be a particularly good weekend to play poker. I saw some friends from high school I haven't seen in probably 7 to 10 years. PLO wasn't readily available in the city of Dallas, I guess, unless you're playing in underground games. So, just wasn't the right spot. That being said, I already had plans to head out to the beautiful city of San Jose, California this weekend for Twitchcon. I'm sure you've heard of Twitch. It's a platform for gaming and streaming. Well, all of us nerds get together once a year and geek out. We check out some gaming. We get to meet all of the people from the gaming community that we, I guess, look up to on a regular basis. And on top of that, San Jose happens to have a pretty decent poker scene, including PLO at Casino Matrix. Alright, so right away we check into the hotel and head straight over to the Bay 101, classic California casino. Host of the Shooting Star, formerly known as the WPT Shooting Star. I guess they lost their affiliation now. But still, super cool casino, very clean and nice. I guess they just made a new building not too long before I arrived. Didn't see any PLO available, so we went ahead and sat down at the 235 no limit table. And one thing you'll learn, I am not a no limit professional. I play largely PLO for a living, and to be totally honest with you, I'm not exactly comfortable or familiar with tons of the new age no limit strategies. I just kind of go in and athlete that shit, and hopefully don't fuck things up too much. So, decided to play a little 235, sat down with the $600 starting stack that they allow there, 200 to 600 I believe. And right away we have some fireworks. I think on my third hand we look down at the pocket rockets, raise it up, and somebody jams right into us for about $150. Folds back around to us. We're gonna make the call here. He's going to show us the good news with ace-queen offsuit, and we have absolutely no way of losing this hand after the jack-jack-4 flop. And we're super happy. Right away, start off up $200, and we're off to a good start. After that, we end up playing a little bit of an interesting one. And you guys in the no limit world can tell me what you think about this. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Either way, there's two limpers in front of us, and we decide to open up the Ace of Clubs and the King of Hearts to $30. Folds back around to the original limper, and he folds, and the limper in between calls. So we're heads up to a flop of Jack 4 deuce with 2 clubs. Now, on a board like this, we have what seems to me be pretty large range advantage. We have all of the overpairs, we have all of the biggest jacks in our range, and all of the biggest flush draws. So I went ahead and continued for 1/3 pot for $25, and he checks and calls. The turn is the 10 of diamonds, which I don't think it's a particularly good card for our range, not necessarily a great card for his range. It's sort of a middling blank. He checks again, and I decide to go ahead and check back, play a little bit of pot control. The river's an interesting one. The river is the 6 of clubs, so now the 3-5 straight has come in, as well as the front door flush draw. And our opponent goes ahead and leads into us for $40. Now in PLO, we love this spot because we get to raise very often, and there's really not too much that our opponents can do about it, except for pray and call that their queen high or king high flush is good. I know it's a little bit different in no limit, but to be honest, I don't play no limit, so I went for it. 215, try to bluff him off of a jack, try to bluff him off of a 10 maybe, and our opponent goes into the tank and starts telling us out loud how much he hates flushes, because he never knows if the guy ahead of him has a bigger flush. And we do not like that news. However, he shows us the 9-7 of clubs and folds. So we're super happy about that one. Also, the guy was a really good sport, actually. I showed him the ace of clubs and told him it was a good fold, and then I accidentally pretended to grab my chips and I flipped over the king of hearts and said, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have flipped that one over. But he took it really well, and we ended up having a really good game that night, had some fun, some back and forth banter. And after that hand, we ended up booking a small win, and our first trip to Bay 101 was a success. So like I told you guys, I don't really play tons of no limit hold'em. I've been a professional PLO player now for about 4 years, I guess. I found PLO in the summer of 2014, and to be completely honest with you, I've never looked back. I was a sort of struggling no limit player. I was winning certainly, but definitely not at a clip that was going to take my life to the next level. Or honestly, that would make playing professionally a better option than, say, going and getting a standard job. But then I found PLO in 2014, and it really changed my life. I started beating the games at a clip that I was much more happy with. I was able to study material that I found just a lot more interesting than No Limit. And like I said, it just changed my life. I play 5 days a week now. I'm much happier with my day-to-day schedule. The people in the PLO scene are more fun to play with as well as the No Limit scene. There seems to be a lot more strat talk at the No Limit tables, a lot more that's dependent upon your respect level of people is dependent upon how, well they play ace king and 3-bet pots, as opposed to the PLO scene is just a lot more fun. There's a lot more banter, there's a lot more day-to-day shit talking between the regs. That is, I think it's just really healthy. I've always said that I wanted to take like a basketball mentality to poker. Like we're playing 21 pickup or something like that. I'm gonna talk shit to you, you're gonna talk shit to me, but it's never gonna be too personal, too over the top or anything like that. And I think that the No Limit scene is just a little too personal. I think that the PLO scene is much more open to people making gambling mistakes and people maybe just mixing it up a little bit more than the No Limit scene, where it's almost seen as a bad thing to be a fish. So after 2 days of geeking out at Twitchcon and playing a little bit of No Limit over at the Bay 101, I was super excited to get into the PLO streets, get some 4-card going. Luckily for me, at the Casino Matrix in San Jose, they have a weekly PLO game. It's a 5-5-10 game with a $500 to $2,000 cap. So I was super excited to get my name on the list and to get involved here. The first game opened, and I was unfortunately first on the list of people to get into that game. But fortunately for me, the second game opened almost immediately, and I was talking to a couple of the players, and it looks like I got a lucky table draw. So a lot of action players, a lot of fun guys to play with, and for the hand history, I'm actually going to take you down to my pool, and we can do it there. So we go ahead and get right into the second game, and we've been playing the game for about an hour now, and not too much has happened. Won a couple hands, up a few $100s, and then we get into the big one of the evening, which is we're under the gun, and we raise it up to 40 with the ace-ace 3-deuce rainbow. No suits, but that's okay, we got the aces. And we pick up a couple callers to our left, and then the button does not call. The button decides to go ahead and 3-bet it to $180. And it gets back to us, and we have a bit of decision. In PLO, unlike No Limit, putting in the 4th bet and the 5th bet, not always the best option. You can usually play really big pots whether or not you do that. And you have a little bit of an option of being deceptive when you don't 4-bet aces. Especially against someone who, like my opponent in this particular case, who he's shown the propensity to be a little bit loose, and he's certainly 3-betting hands that aren't aces. So playing a little bit tricky against him could be a little bit of a risk-reward spot, but we wanted to go ahead and go for it. So we go ahead and make the flat for $180, and the 2 players in between also make the flat. And we're off to a flop pretty above average. Ace 10-7 with 2 diamonds. So we flop ourselves the top set and a backdoor straight draw. The original raiser is certainly supposed to bet this board, so we go ahead and check it over to him. The other 2 callers also check. And he just does us a nice favor. Just go ahead and pots it all in. And for this amount, he's never going to be folding for an additional, $800 or $700 to win a pretty big one. So we go ahead and just go all in for $2,000. The first limper who checked, go ahead and just fold. And the second limper decides she's not done. She's all in for $700. And of course the 3-better's all in for his $2,000 as well. And I only run it once, so no chopping this pot. We're going to do it one time and we're going to see what happens. The turn is the 10 of clubs, and we just go ahead and flip our hand over, and everyone else is drawing dead. It turns out that the woman in between us actually flopped herself a set of 7s, and the button didn't show his hand, but he claims that he had ace, king, king. So pretty fortunate flop for us. He flops a pair and decides not to fold. The other opponent flops a set and doesn't like to fold. And we have them almost drawing dead in a huge pot in PLO. Go ahead and pick up that big one there. And yeah, pick up enough money to buy some new hair products. After that hand, we have officially accomplished the goal on the West Coast. We made our way over here. We were into the game for $3,000, and we cashed out of the game for $6,280 for a profit of $32.80 on the day. And we made the trip to the West Coast successful. We got to go see Twitchcon, which was probably one of the cooler events I've been to over the last couple of years. Got to play some no limit, which we very rarely do, and bluff someone with an ace-high blocker. And then we got to win the big one in PLO when we flopped top set. So overall, a great weekend. I would definitely suggest playing at the Casino Matrix if you're ever in the San Francisco, San Jose area. It's a super fun crew of people, and they really like to gamble, so it's a good time. One thing that I like to do on the channel is highlight an up-and-coming artist that I just find particularly good or exciting or interesting. And last week in Dallas, I was kind of just like thumbing through the Dallas music scene on Instagram, and I ran across a really cool chick named Tippy Ballad. She has a really cool style, soulful, southern style, Texas, awesome shit. And I just like everything that she does. So if you could, I'm going to put her information down in the information below. Check her out on Instagram at Tippy Ballad. She's definitely worth it. And if I'm traveling to your city, let me know. Maybe you'll be the artist that I highlight on our next vlog. So thanks for watching. Hit that like and that subscribe button, or the dislike button, either way. Just tell me if you like it or not. And if you want more hand histories from J-Boss, if you want some podcasts, if you want some interviews and some cool docuseries maybe, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and we'll do our very best to give you some super cool content. Me and a couple buddies will be releasing a podcast here over the next month, and we should have episodes of that out pretty regularly. So see you soon.
Stress, oh stress, consuming my soul when I just need to let it go. Your words, they shoot me down like a gun, but that's okay, 'cause we're just having fun.